Gray Area Podcast. Where the unknown becomes an adventure. Uncover the complexities of answers that aren't always clear-cut. Let's dive into the depths of the unexpected. The realm where diverse perspectives and conflicting ideas are welcomed. Let's talk about it. 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 Let's talk about it.
Yo. Welcome to the Gray Area Podcast, where we talk about situations and things that are rarely even talked about. Listen, this is going to be short and sweet. We've been missing for a minute. So, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's okay. So, what's popping with everybody? What's popping? Yeah, you all know we took a little hiatus. We took a little break. Now we here trying to do things again. So, what's popping? So, anyway, y'all know this is a podcast where we talk about things and everybody get to chime in. So it's not just based on my opinions. It's based on yours as well. So you get to say what you want to say, and you get to basically share your thoughts, share your feelings, say whatever you want to say, how you want to say it, and no strings attached, no filters, So tonight we're going to be talking about don't be fooled, falling for the cycle of deception and lies. Look here. Now y'all know. Deception and lies is a common thing in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. If you all understand what's popping, Aaron, and what's popping, Milkshake. So, y'all know, right? A lot of times, we as individuals, we fall for deception and lies from people, especially those who we trust and those who we love and those who we care about. You know what I mean? And people take us for granted because they don't see it as nothing. They just basically play it off as something like, it's just, it ain't that serious. You know what I mean? So y'all know. So we have a lot of people that when they come on this podcast, they don't like their names to be shown on the screen. Like here, when you comment, your name pops up on the screen, and I'm like, hey, and the whole world can see your comment. So for those of you, right, that have a problem, or not a problem, for those of you that don't want your name to be out there, you could just WhatsApp us your opinions at 432-8026. Now, please, man, please. This is not a giveaway ticket hotline or giveaway money hotline. This is for the podcast. Please, don't stop texting me begging for free things, man. Please. But anyway, speaking of free things, we're going to get to that in a minute. So, yeah. So, tonight's topic is don't be fooled falling for the cycle of deception. So, y'all know many times, right? People like to pretend, and they like to give us this image of themselves, and they paint this image as truthful, honest, but then after that it's literally not that. It's not that kind of thing. So we tend to get hurt, and we tend to get in our feelings, and we tend to be down about it, and we tend to we tend to have hold on, man, let me see. Hold on. We have a history of piracy. Oh dear, you already start, man. Milkshake say I confronted a liar today. Oh Lord, so the topic is on point. So y'all know what to do. As long as you join the stream, just share the stream, invite a friend, tell a friend, and let's talk about it, y'all. Man, I see y'all what's up already coming in, but hold on, man. I'm gonna read these. So y'all know listen, we could be the most sincere person, the individuals, we could be kind hearted, we could be genuine, and just for some reason, uh, people tend to not reciprocate that energy to us, and it leaves us in a state whereas we have to make a decision for ourselves, and we have to make these decisions based on the fact that, hey, uh my my struggle is holding on to these lies and these untruths and all these things, and it affects you negatively. So it's your job to, to break free, because they're like chains on your mind, and it's like hurt and it's like pain, especially when you find out, like when you find out somebody was being dishonest. Like, for example, right, I had a homeboy, and he was taking care of this kid, man. He loved this kid. I mean, he loved this kid with all his heart. He was, I mean, this dude, when he found out this girl got pregnant, man, he told everybody. He came to the boys and he's like, man, um, I having a baby, man, and I so excited, and then he invited us to the shower, man. I had my vitamin, and I mean, everybody was just vibing, right? And so when the child was 5, his uncle was like, bro, this girl be all around the place and whatever, whatever, but you need to take a DNA, but because this baby might not be yours. And he was like, he got mad at the uncle. But anyway, long story short, right? He took it upon himself to go and get a DNA test, right? When he got the DNA test, y'all know he wasn't the father. And I mean, that destroyed my boy, because he was like, whoa, how you could lie? And when he approached this girl saying, man, look here, this ain't my baby, and she was like, oh, how you could tell me who I sleep with? Oh, this here baby, this and that. Oh, you can't tell me this and that, and this here baby, I only sleep with you. And so he was like, well, this result says different. And she's like, oh, you make that result up? And I mean, this woman was narcissistic. She could pray Jesus off the cross. I was like, mother flip. And he was like, man, I can't believe you do this to me, man. This child 5 for 5 years. Oh, this and that. I didn't even know. I didn't sleep with nobody. I swear to God. I swear to God. But anyway, long story short, she was a liar. I don't know if she made herself to believe that that was a child. So that's some of the things, that people deal with when it comes to falling for the cycle of deceptions of lies. Because if you're not careful, you will be swallowed up. Mr. Mixon said, break free of its hold. Breaking free of its hold is a struggle for many. Yes, because these are people we love and care for. You know what I mean? These are people we love and we care for, and we hold them, to a certain standard, and we expect honesty. We expect honesty from these individuals, and then after that, it's like a betrayal. You know what I mean? And these type of things, it's like, like it makes you feel like, oh well, these people saying all these things to me and making me believe these things, and all the time it's so untrue. All right, now, so let's, I don't know why y'all so shy to be on Facebook. I mean, yeah, to put your comments on Facebook, ain't nobody judging. This a judge free platform. Y'all start playing, man. Anyway, so this one say, just listening to the start of this podcast. No, you're all right, Bob. Just listening to the start of this podcast makes me realize how often I fall for the same traps over and over. Now, friend, you already admitting. See, that's the thing though. If you understand and you know that you're falling for the same traps over and over, you need to do some self-evaluation, friend, man. Come on, man. Some self-evaluation. Anyway, just listening to the start of this podcast makes me realize how often I fall for the same traps over and over. It'd be hard, honestly, because you can be so nice to people and they would turn around and hurt you. This is a touchy subject for me. Yeah, that's touchy. All right. Let's break down this thing. She said, just listen to the start of this podcast makes me realize how often I fall for the same traps over and over. Now, I want to hammer down on that, because First of all, the mere fact that you know that you fall in for the same traps over and over, you got to evaluate yourself and evaluate your life to say, man, listen, um, 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 um I gotta do better. I gotta put myself together and so forth. You know. Good evening, all. Just joining. What's the topic for tonight? So the topic for tonight, Mo, is don't be fooled, falling for the cycle of deception and lies. Right. And the first WhatsApp message was just listening to the start of this podcast makes me realize how often I fall for the same traps over and over and over. Right. It'd be hard, honestly, because you can be so nice to people and they would turn around and hurt you. This is a touchy subject for me. What's poppin', Paula? What's poppin'? Deception is way too common. Yes, I agree. Deception is way too common. Oh, okay, let me send you the link for the live. So yeah. So when you understand, for example, if you understand that you fall in for the same traps over and over, and you understand that, hey, okay, well, you could see the patterns. What you doing about it? What do we do about it when we realize, okay, well, we fall in for the same patterns over and over and over and over and over, right? What do we do? What do we do? Do we just sit back and keep allowing these people to do these things and so forth? Oh man, we can't do that, man. You know, we can't do that. Hold on now. Let me send this thing to you. And it's amazing how the worst thing about things is, right, is if there are a lot of times, right, there are a lot of times where we know the situation and we know, for example, we know for a fact that people doing these things to us and making us feel this way and doing this and doing that. And then we still allow them to do it. And then we just sitting there because in the name of love or whatever it is. And I think it's crazy because in the name of love, we just sitting back. Oh, well, yeah. Um, I love this person. Yeah, I gonna do this. Okay, Ranger, I sent you the invite in in the in your inbox. You have to accept them. You have to accept the message. Okay, now let me think. Let's go. Mr. said it's so pervasive. Managers bring the behavior with them at work, just manipulative. And when they get confronted and you decide not to participate in their witchcraft, the witch becomes the victim. Yes, that's blame shifting. You know, they will come with their agenda and come with their thing, and then they'll blame you. They'll blame you and say you are the reason for them doing this and doing that and so forth and et cetera, and they'll make you believe like you crazy all the time. They came to you with their manipulative and narcissistic characteristic, and they will turn around when you approach them and say, oh, it's because you do this and you do. How? No, deception is a choice that you make. Deception is way too common. I believe that. Let's go, Ranger. Bring it. You gotta bring it. I sent you the live. I sent it to you. I sent you the invite, so just check your messenger and it'll be right there. It creates mental instability for the person on the receiving end. Facts, milkshake. Man, you 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 speaking facts, right? But I just want to put a little trinket in there. But knowing that it creates mental instability, right? What are we doing to avoid this? What are we doing to avoid? What are we doing to avoid the effect that they have on us? Or do we have boundaries in place? Because if somebody slap you once and you be like, "Oh, I forgive you," I'm sorry. Oh yeah, okay, and then you move on like okay, and then they slap you again. Oh yeah, I forgive you when they say I'm sorry, and then they punch you in your mouth this time, and you like, and they like, oh I sorry, and you be like, oh yeah, I love you, I forgive you. You know, there's no boundaries. So if there's no boundaries, right? We are a part of the cause, and we are a part of the reason why they are doing these things to us. In some cases, now there are some cases where these people they just blatant, cold hearted, and disregard for your feelings. But I do agree that it creates mental instability, especially if you value these people and you gave them, you know, the world. Let's go. You can be a nice person and still have boundaries. Facts. I totally believe that. You can be a nice person and still have boundaries, and that's sometimes where we go wrong. We allow people to cross our boundaries because you know if you stand for something, right? Let's say you stand for not cheating, right? You a person who you say, okay, if anybody cheat on me, I'm not accepting them. I'm just moving on. Infidelity is where you draw the line, right? Is where you draw the line, and that's where you finish. But then the minute the person cheat on you, oh baby, I love you, we can make this thing work, and so forth. Where does that put you? Where does that put you as an individual? Because you already set these boundaries, and the boundaries that you set you're not following. So what happens then? I like that comment. 75% of the world would take advantage of you if they know they could. Fox? What a sick. You come with Fox tonight. You come with Fox. When people know they could take advantage of you and use you and mistreat you and take you for granted and get away with things, it becomes a norm for them. The way that they flex around you, the way that they move around you, they get comfortable. They get comfortable in deceiving you, and they get comfortable in lying to you, and they get comfortable in mistreating you. You open the door for all kind of other things. It becomes a cycle, you know. So and what's so crazy is it's so sad because again, it's like our boundaries just go with the window. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, like the old people would say. Tiff said, that's it. Must have those boundaries. Facts. You gotta have boundaries. If you don't respect yourself, people won't respect you. And I could appreciate somebody that's honest. I prefer to you come to me and tell me, like, honestly, Jason, what? I don't like you. Then you are key in my face and behind my back. Oh, I don't like Jason. He think he this, he think he that. No, man, let me know you don't like me so I can respect you. Say, what, man? He came to me, he told me he don't like me. Well, respect. You tell me you don't like me so I know where I stand with you. You know, not when you pump faking and you out here pretending. Let's go. Oh, for the people who WhatsApp, and I see your message. I just trying to balance this through the Facebook. Then they call you disrespectful and insubordinate. Yeah, that's them on the job. That's them. When you call them out, once they can't get around your boundaries, yes. When you set your boundaries, and then after that, they start calling you everything but a child of God. Everything but a child of God. They mad this, they mad that. It's a problem. It's a problem this, it's a problem that. All right, for you all, don't forget when you all join the live, just share, whether you join it on YouTube, share the YouTube link, whether you join it on Facebook, share the Facebook link, invite a friend, tell a friend, and like I said, if you're afraid to put your comments on the screen, just WhatsApp us, man, 432-8026, and we'll read your comment. Now we're going to go to the WhatsApp comments, man. Y'all WhatsApp people is be hot, I like the little WhatsApp. So this one says, this is a serious topic, and it is so relevant and relatable. I was there where I kept going in circles with the same types of people, narcissistic humans. Listen, everybody been there. Everybody been there where they go to the same thing with these people. You're thinking they'll change, and you're thinking they'll be this person, and you're thinking they'll come back and show you that they change, and you have faith in them, and you just believe, and you put all your belief in them, and then bam, they hit you right in your mouth. Oh, okay. You thought I forgot how to be deceptive, eh? You thought I forgot how to be fake, eh? And you just there left like, what the hell is about? What, like, I thought, some changes in place. I thought, there was gonna be some different. All right, now let me add my good buddy to the stream. Everybody, welcome my good friend Pumpkin, aka Lala.
Am I audible? Is it audible?
1 second, 1 second. All right.
Just give me a moment, Royce.
Mhm. 1 second, 1 second.
Take all the time you need.
Mhm. Mhm.
What's the song that you're humming?
That's my
That's all
comfortable
here.
my comfortable song. Hold on, I just trying to get you to the screen. 1 second.
Take all the time you need, but continue humming. Mhm. Mhm.
All right, now we here. Hold on. There you go. See, there you go. There you go. What's popping?
You're what's popping.
You're welcome. Welcome, my good friend. So, where do you stand in all this? Let me hear your views and your opinions.
So I was having connection issues.
Uh huh.
But from what I understood is like mistreatment and we go back. I'd like to express that's how abuse works.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, we recognize Peter and Paul, they mean no good for me, whether it be relationships or friendships or even family, especially family. Our mindset, am I on the right subject before I continue though? Or
Yeah. Yeah. It's
can you repeat
basically
question?
don't be fooled, falling for the cycle of deception and lies. So it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily falling for. Why would you turn the light off? It made my skin glow. Sorry. It's not necessarily falling for deception. When it
Mhm.
comes to family, I think most of us, our mindset is, hey, we can't choose our family.
Right.
So you're not falling for deception, you learn to forgive. This is what I was blessed with, I guess. With friends, that's who we choose. So they're chosen family.
Mhm. Mhm.
Friends then become chosen family. And then with relationships, something about, I'm going to use you for example. Um, I'm with you, and maybe you went through certain things, and I can show you different.
Mhm.
If I show you different, your actions are going to be different. The way you respond is going to be different. So that's just how mistreatment works. Is my response. So it's not falling for deception or being fooled to deception. That's abuse in itself. Any form of deception is like a form of abuse, and that's how abuse works, would be my response.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate, right? With the family thing. I'm gonna play
Mhm.
devil's advocate with this family thing because I like how you brought that up, right? Saying
Okay.
you're not falling for family. So if you have a family member, right, you
Yeah.
know that they constantly lie and constantly, let's say you riding with them and then they say, oh, I don't have nothing on me, and police stop y'all and y'all get arrested. They constantly lie and and you know they're a compulsive liar, right? even
Yeah.
though even though they're your family, not by choice. So you're gonna continue to have them around you knowing that they're a liar.
Right now, I would say no. But that's what I'm saying. We have this thing where, oh, if it was me, I would have done this, I would have done that. You don't know
Mhm.
until you actually in these situations. And I have been in spots or positions where I regret it today, but at that time, you just want to protect that person. So I'll set an example for you. Um, I was with a brother of mine. He smokes weed. This is in the Bahamas. We
Mm-hmm.
had just gotten weed, and he had a newborn baby. So we just left the place this yard where he gets his weed from.
Mm-hmm.
The police pulled us over, so I just slid it in between the like little compartment between the driver's seat and the passenger seat.
Mm-hmm.
The police searched the car. They found the weed. They said, "I don't want to know." No, it's fine that you guys smoke. I just need to know where you guys got it from. So we created this story of this random place. Of course, you're not gonna snitch, but anyway, here goes my brother. Why didn't you put it in calling my nephew's name? Why didn't you put it in this diaper? True story. Um, but at the same time, when you're in the situation, that's why I mentioned abuse as well. You don't know what you're gonna do. We would say these things. We watch TV and we like, this is what I would have done. Oh, she's stupid, eh? You don't know
Mm-hmm.
what you're gonna do, and something about the wrong thing for the person you love.
Mm-hmm.
This is my response. Something about the wrong thing for the person you love. You just want to see conscious Jay like not get in trouble. Like, so when it comes to falling short with like off, and then too, we pray to God, hey, show me this sign. God placed that sign in front of He placed two signs. You only ask God for one. God placed three, four. This the sign says so and so. What's going on over here? I don't know. But something about the people you love, I think that's how deception works. You want to protect the people you. Oh gosh, what is your question?
But I mean, and I like to play devil's advocate, right?
I know that's why.
But if it's somebody you love, right, and they're
Yeah,
not, if their actions, right, because you know how I go. I always say, you have to show me, right?
yeah,
So, but if you're the only one showing love, right, and they're
yeah.
showing deception, why continue showing love? I'm just trying to figure that out, because if I say, okay, I love pumpkin, right? And I say, I
Yeah.
love my pumpkin and I'll do anything for pumpkin, but pumpkin keep lying to me, abusing me. Am I supposed to continuously love you even though that you're doing these things to me?
Okay, you call it devil's advocate as a parent. So, my parents would always say, if you get in trouble, don't have the police call my number. I tell them it's the wrong number.
Hmm.
Your loved ones call you now and they say, oh, it's the police. And I call in behalf of Pumpkin. There you gonna go. You coming there to bail me out. For some reason, that's just how it works. It's a natural response, would be my answer then.
I
Opposed to
mean,
this scenario, it's
I agree. I agree to an extent, because I feel like if I'm big on boundaries. So if I set boundaries and I say, Pumpkin, I don't like when you lie, and
yeah.
and you continuously lying. I don't care what situation is. I don't care how much I love. I don't care if the air I breathe comes out and writes pumpkin in the sky. I'm not That's just me. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna continuously just gonna show love to someone who is always deceiving me and lying to me, because at the end of the day, I'm giving love, but what am I getting? What
Okay.
what what am I getting at the end of the day? I'm gonna be the one that's in a state of mind so where I'm emotionally stressed, I'm emotionally disturbed, while you live in a conscious free life, because as far as you're concerned, I'm gonna continuously love you.
That has something to do with your brought up scene. So I now live in Canada, and the place I work, I have this colleague. She's dealing with somebody, and this is like a Tuesday. School is still open. And as she's dealing with them, they came in with their kid, and she goes, oh, you're not in school today. Why is that? that instantly pissed me off because our brought up say you don't ask people their business.
No.
Yeah. So the parent goes, "Oh, he's sick." So here goes my colleague. Sick with what? I'm there fuming like, girl. But she's an older woman. But
Hmm.
I'm learning now, especially living in a different country. Our cultures is different, right? So I think maybe that contributes to why I'm saying we don't all have the same brought up. See, your mindset is due to your brought up. See,
You don't think you don't even though you are brought up a certain way, you don't think experience could be you don't think experience could be a teacher. You could be brought up a way to be passive and to love unconditionally and to love in spite of. But if you keep experiencing seeing things, something along the way should say, hey, this ain't working. I need to try something different.
it's true.
Okay, so
It's
let's
true.
get we're gonna go to one of the WhatsApp comments, but this one hot. So I caught my wife in another lie recently. See, and that's the key, another lie. Oh my goodness. I caught my wife in another lie recently after we agreed to try and make things work. And honestly, it's exhausting. People are good pretenders. No matter how much they say they love you, love these days is only a word for people's convenience. I always ask my wife, if you love me, why lie to me? She can't answer to this day. But see, I mean, I sorry for whoever this is because I don't know them. Whoever this guy is, brother, I can't tell you what to do because that's your wife. But I
Yeah.
know me, Bush crack, Jason gone. But what stood out to me is the fact that he said he caught
Another.
his wife in another lie recently after they agreed to try and make things work. And then he followed this and say, honestly, it's exhausting, meaning he is tired. So it goes back to my initial point. Regardless of the fact if you love somebody, why would you sit there? I'm not gonna sit in any circumstances or situation where I'm taking the constant short end of the stick. If we and then he said what he said after they agreed to try and make things work. So that means she slip up. I'm not asking his business. He slip up and she slip up and do whatever it is. That's just great. I just think at a
We
certain,
all get a conk. Love does make you a conk. You
but
just
okay. Let's
Love find always a player.
yeah, oh yeah.
let's go with that. Let's go with that, right?
Okay. Okay.
Even if love makes you a count, how
Mm-hmm.
much count can you be in an eternity?
Do you eat conk?
Yes.
And you can eat that non-stop. Something about conk.
No, I'm not gonna listen. Some days, if you offer me conch, I don't want it.
You get stalled, yeah.
Yes. So at what point you get stalled of being a conch?
Yeah. But my
My
response would be that's love. When it comes to family, friends, associates, colleagues, you workplaces and you can't stand these people, but it's just that's how you get through the day. You say,
but
what is the point of like when do you stop? That's how
yeah,
you gotta kiss it till you can kick it.
what? I don't believe in that. I don't. So you telling me if you go into something with somebody, you're gonna stick around until you see some changes, and if no change happens, then what?
No, that's not what I'm saying. But I will speak on past experiences. I have stuck around, but that's how our God works. He don't come when you want him to come.
Hmm,
He don't
boy.
come when you want him to come. He gonna come when you need him to come. So even I always say I think God have a sense of humor. Sometimes we going through these things, we praying, we faithful, we believe in,
Hmm.
We praying every night, and God upstairs, and He saying, "Look at this fool. Look at her. She's stressing, eh? But He makes me do this. So I think that's what God be doing. Look at her. But He gonna come and you want Him to. So I just feel that's the process. Like you say, you mentioned experience is what teaches us.
Hmm. Hmm. Let's check this Facebook comment now.
Oh gosh.
Yes, they come
They're
in, they write.
recording as you and I are. We're all live now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these live comments. They
Okay.
say we take mental illnesses as a surface situation, but when you see a person cannot control or stop a certain behavior, it goes deeper than just that continuous behavior. I can't go against that.
Yeah,
That's
but there's also doctors that won't stop the behavior, injecting us with medication that we don't want to be injected with. They're refusing to stop the medication.
Would
I
you
don't
want to
want the
go on my
I don't
friends?
want the medication. I never wanted the medication in the first place. They forced me to take medication, and that made me paranoid and schizophrenic. The medication. Then they
So
forced
I
me with
have.
more medication for the last 26 years, and they're still forcing it on me.
Would you want to
They beat
share
me up.
that with
They
my?
put me in a coma for 12 days in a coma, and I woke up 12 days later.
Would you want
Saturday,
to share your story? Is it okay to
yeah, man. This
I'm
is
never
free
gonna quit
open
smoking crack. I'm never gonna
these
podcast.
keep
people in
doing
the
that.
Bahamas?
I'm gonna do meth. I'm gonna keep on smoking crack for the rest of the day until they stop medicating me.
Please
How you
hold the
doing?
phone and
Yeah,
answer.
I'm gonna quit.
Hello.
I'm never gonna quit doing what I'm doing until they stop medicating me. They're forcing medication on us here in Canada. They're
Hmm.
forcing it on me. They had 10 cops on me that pinned me down in a hospital. There was nothing wrong with me. They said I had to go see a doctor or psychiatrist in the emergency office room. I went in there and he told, okay, grab him. And 10 cops grabbed me. They pinned me on a metal table. And one cop put his hand on my mouth. I couldn't breathe. And I managed to turn my head. I got my breath back. I said, "You bastard! Don't put your hand on my mouth." He goes, "He spit at me," because I admitted to spitting at a girl back in 1999 over some 53 charges she had against me, Shirley Lou.
You admitted
And
to spitting on a
yeah, I
girl?
admitted to spitting at her. That's the only thing I ever did because she had assaulted me 51 times. Okay, in a span of 6 or 7 months,
So that
and
was your wife at the time?
it was a girlfriend. Shirley
Oh,
was her name. That Chinese, yeah, she was crazy. Anyways, I had to elbow her one time because I was in my truck and she grabbed me by the balls. Well, pardon me, but by the scrotum, and she was squeezing so hard I had to elbow her for her to let go. And she was like she went into my underwear and everything, and she drew blood. So I had to elbow her. She showed that to the police
but
officer.
I have a question. I have a
Yeah,
question if you don't mind me asking.
yeah.
Going through all of that, at what point did you realize? Because you said she assaulted you a few times, right?
She big time. Yeah.
Yeah. So my question, right, as I'm trying to see it from another perspective, is at what point did you realize, like, okay,
I knew she needed help, but I didn't know. They're treating me like I was the one that needed help. I don't need the help. She needs the help. They're treating me like I need the help, and they've been injecting me. They've been injecting me ever since they started giving me Prozac. They're injecting me with Haldol and Abilify. Abilify is banned in the states. It was killing people. They're injecting me with Abilify here in Canada, and they're injecting me with
and she's not getting the
Invega.
same treatment.
No, she's not on no treatment at all. She's living high life and everything else. Her life is good now for what she did to me. And the
But
judge,
but knowing you after you experience all of these, right?
yeah,
Why? And I mean, I'm sorry if it seems insensitive, but I'm just trying to get clarification.
yeah.
After all of these assaults and all of these things that she did to you, why stick around?
I was trying to break up with her. Every time I said, you got to stop, you got to give me my space, she would freak out. And she kept coming back. She wouldn't take no as an answer. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want the cops involved.
That's
And,
how it
and that's what
works.
happened. I kept telling you, she would break into my apartment. I had a little buddy of mine, just a 3 year old. He's 3 year old. He come up and he goes, there's somebody in your apartment. I'm like, oh no. And he would tell me like all the time what was going on. He'd tell me somebody broke in your apartment, somebody's in your apartment. And I said, yeah, I know who. Don't worry about it. I'll deal with it. And sure enough, that's what was going on. She was naked on my bed, and she's not gonna refuse this. Oh, jeez. I should like, I should give me a break, like, and one thing led to another, and then it's okay. Don't come back tomorrow. I need a space. I'm going out with the boys. We're
And
gonna,
I'm just sorry that had to happen to
yeah.
you. But I
Kept
think
on-
I think after the first incident,
She was
I would have
stalking me.
went to the cops.
She was stalking me. Yeah, well, I don't deal with cops. I never want to deal with cops. Me and my dad
And
never dealt
that's
with cops.
common here.
Yeah, we have a gas station here in Sudbury, just on the outskirts of Sudbury, between Sudbury and North Bay. And we never wanted to deal with cops. We told the cops never to come to our establishment because it's bad for business. So that's the way it is. and they knew that, and this is what they're doing to me now. They extorted my money to my lawyer. My lawyer cost me 10 grand, and it cost me 2 years of every week having to go to court and having to go see another date on another week. I had to go see a parole officer, and then I had to go to a chiropractor because I hurt myself at work because I was on Prozac. I injured my arm. I tore all the tendons in my shoulder, and it was a constantly just always something going on with this medication that was faulting me, and they're making me paranoid when times. And then they started treating me with more medication, more medication. I had to stop.
Medication.
26 years. I did 21 years in a lockdown inside a mental hospital institution.
21 years.
And
21
this and this
years.
is and this is all because of her.
Yeah, all because of her. All because of the judge and her.
When you
What they
wanted to get
demanded for me
away.
to take, what they wanted me to do. I had work knives and stuff like that on job site,
So
and they told me
question.
I was allowed to take them with me, and they treated me like I was a
So I,
complete criminal or murderer or something.
so I have a question, right?
Yeah,
Knowing going through everything what you going through now,
mm,
right?
yeah.
After the fact of dealing with her, not going to cops, with all the information that you know now, right?
I want to
If
sue.
you could go back, if you could go back and change it and then make a decision to let's say
I want to
deal to deal
countercharge.
to deal with it, would you do it?
I tried to countercharge, and the Crown hired my lawyer the very next day after my court case. I had spoken to my lawyer 6 months before my court case ended. I said, "Well, I'm countercharging her. This way here, she's going to be guilty of 51 charges of assault against me. I can get my 10 grand back, get her to pay at least $9,000. I want assault or 100. I'll pay $100. She can pay the $9,900 what it cost me for my court case because I was only guilty of one assault out of the 52 charges. They dropped it 23 charges, and then they dropped it to 15 charges. And then when I went to court, I had to answer to all 53 charges. That's what took me
Man,
2 years in court. And when I was going to countercharge her, Canadian Crown here in Ontario, hired my lawyer out of Brian Greenspan's office to work for them. The very next day, my court case was dealt with. They charged me with assault for spitting at her, and they never charged her for nothing that all the assaults she had done on me. And they didn't want me to go further, and they wanted me to get another lawyer, and the other lawyer would have cost me twice as much because I would have had to repeat everything that went on, and I would have to restart all the files, everything else, for another year, 2 years. They did the same to me in mining engineering in Cambridge College. Yeah, I aced the class, and one guy who tutored me for my last exam was worth 50% of my marks, and he made me erase all my right marks, and he made me write all the wrong answers, and I failed mining class. It's been like this for my whole life.
What
I
are
all
always
right, all
always
right.
see somebody faulting me. Yeah, so I'm
Okay,
not.
man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you for
All right,
sharing.
thank
I
you.
appreciate it. I
All right,
appreciate you
you
sharing,
too, bro.
if
Yeah, God bless
Thanks for sharing.
Jamaican Love. Okay, my man.
if
Thanks.
I can just borrow that bag?
All right. All right. Thanks for sharing. Gonna get back on now. All these comments. Oh Lord, there's so much of y'all.
Well,
Okay,
it's
okay.
not now. I'm surprised people could understand him. He like the company I'm with right now. And enough times he speak, I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, I could have understood him. So
Okay.
milkshake says lying is a mental illness. Facts. I believe that.
Yeah. It's an actual diagnosis.
They said, what if this is Sunshine, Nancy Lou. What if maybe they lied to protect your feelings? Lord, not today. Listen.
That's when it is it the word narcissist?
Yes, that's a
Yeah.
narcissistic trait. When
Yeah.
they use when it's a few stages. When they then make their selfish decision and base it on you, that's a narcissistic trait. There's no such
Yeah.
thing as you can't protect somebody by lying because once the truth comes out, then what happens? They're gonna be in a far worse state. They're gonna be in a far worse state than they are now.
Yeah.
You know, so just keep it a buck.
And
You can't choose, like people like to choose which truth they want to give you and then choose which lie they want to give you.
which was
right?
going to be my response. People have selective diagnosis.
Yes,
So
I
as we
agree.
mentioned, living here in Canada, they got this thing that's called ODSP. So it's equivalent to NIB in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm,
But NIB is more so in the Bahamas if you actually had surgery or broken limb.
mm-hmm.
Here in Canada, you can just claim anxiety and you don't have to work.
Wow.
You just get your funds a month, and if ODSP, I'm talking like $1,000 or more a month.
Hmm.
So yeah. Um, so I think people now have selective diagnosis.
Some get 2,000.
Yeah, because you can't, you
Some
can't, you can't,
$2,000, you're
Some
right.
I don't
you
get that.
can't choose. You can't choose what
Yeah.
you want to tell somebody. And she also says,
Yeah.
mind you, me personally, if I love you, I wouldn't put you in the position, but everyone's story differs. That's true, but right is right and wrong is still wrong. You know, Milkshake says that's why they lied in the first place. Yeah, there. Like I had this person, right? They was telling me, say how, for example, right? So they dated this guy for like 2 months, and she told him, say, well, okay, well, uh are you seeing anybody? And she was like, well, no, I'm not seeing anybody. He was like, no, I'm not seeing anybody. Say, I'm single. And so she said, okay. So she said, okay, well, we'll see how this goes and so forth. She said within a matter of week, she had so many messages of I coming to you as a woman and so forth, and people showing up on her job saying, oh, you messing around my husband. The man was married.
All of my admirers now are married or in relationships.
But they tell you and say, okay,
Yeah.
hey, yeah,
I've had
see,
somebody I met and is here in Canada. Canada, no offense to you, a white guy. He goes, Lala, I have a girlfriend, but I'd like to get with you. I'd want you to get pregnant, and I want her to find out about it. How are you
what?
comfortable bringing that to me? Rather less expecting that of me.
But at least, nah, at least
Please
they
part. Yes, let me hear
no,
you.
I'm not. I want to be
Yeah,
clear. I'm
yeah.
not. I'm not justifying their
Uh-huh.
behavior. I want to make that clear. I'm not justifying and say the behavior is right, but I could respect. I could respect the fact that they came with a full slate, and it's up to you to say no. If you understand, I'm not saying that what they did was right, but I'm saying me personally, I respect the fact that they came to you with a full deck on the table, and if you decide to pick up the cards, then that's on you. But the fact is, they didn't hide anything. They came there with a full gun loaded, saying, "Hey, pumpkin, I want to have a child with you, and I want my wife to find out, and this is what. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying I could respect an individual that does that than somebody who comes to you and say, "Oh, hey, pumpkin, I want to be with you. I want to have a baby with you." Then you ask them, "Are you seeing somebody?" And they say no, right? And then now you got serious, you got intimate. Now you're pregnant, and then they hit you with the bomb. Oh well, my wife is gonna find out, and you're like, "Wife, when were you gonna tell me you?" And they said, "Oh, I didn't want to tell you." And they said, "Oh, I didn't want to tell you I have a wife because it would hurt your feelings." Come on now, So that just So this WhatsApp say, if I can be real, let's be honest. Some of us see and recognize the red flags. We choose to ignore them, then act dumb when people do exactly what they show you they're capable of doing. Oh, I gotta read this again. Whoever you are, I like you. If I can be real, let's be honest. Some of us see and recognize the red flags. We choose to ignore them and act dumb when people do exactly what they show you they're capable of doing. I never saw a snake act like a donkey in my life. That's a good one. Now, that's a good one. He said he never saw a snake act like a donkey in his life. That's, I love that. I don't know how you made this. I don't know what you thought about when you was writing this, but this facts. This right here is facts. Say, if I can be real, let's be honest. Some of us see and recognize the red flags, and that's the problem that I have right there. We would see and recognize these red flags, and we would still continue. We would still continue and act like, oh, okay, well, oh, let me just ignore it, you know, and so forth. And then and then when the big bang hit us, we act so oblivious, like, oh, well, you know, it's like, no, don't ignore the red flags. When you see it, you gotta set your boundaries and take a stand, and you gotta stand for what you believe in. Don't be dilly dallying. You know, stand for what you believe in. Stop moving your boundaries and moving your goalposts. You know, that's me. I like a good carnival ride. You need to stop. You know, you need to stop. But good carnival ride. Ah, ah. I trying to get to these WhatsApp message, man. I trying to get to them. Ah. That was me and your friend on the road. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh boy. Listen, y'all, WhatsApp people, y'all be carrying on bad, you know. I respect y'all, even though y'all be hidden. Mm-mm-mm-mm. This one says the cycle of deception is so real. I've been there. It's hard. I ain't gonna lie. I want to know why people say it's hard. You know, why do y'all say it's hard? You know, why do y'all say it's hard? What makes it so hard? Tell me what makes it so hard. Why do people say why? This one says the cycle of deception is so real. I've been there. It's hard. I ain't gonna lie. What makes it hard? Because if somebody, I going on. I wanna hammer this down, right? I don't understand why it's hard, right? Maybe I'm missing something, right? But if you punch me in my mouth, right, and blood starts gushing out of my mouth, right? My mouth is bloody, right? And I told you I didn't like how you punched me in my mouth. And then you proceed to punch me again on the other side of my mouth. Why would I stick around and allow you to punch me in my mouth again? That just I don't know. It's just I don't know. You know, I don't understand it. Maybe I'm missing something, but what do you think, Pumpkin? Is it hard? I lost you for a second because I can't hear your audio no more. Your audio is gone. Oh, that's the elevator. Okay, so I'll wait till you get back on out of the elevator. So how can we say, right? Anyway, I just don't understand why it's hard. I don't understand. I have a question. What's your question? What's your question? Some people have a hard time on this, have a hard time standing on their boundaries, but they're your boundaries. I don't. How could you have a hard time standing on your boundaries? I mean, I'm just asking. I'm just asking from the other side of the perspective or the other side of the spectrum. I still can't hear you, Ranger. I still can't hear you. So I'm trying to figure out, right? How how is it hard for you to stand on the same boundaries that you set? Because if you tell somebody, right, I don't want you to abuse me and I don't want you to mistreat me, right? And they then turn around and continue to do the same thing. right? And it's your boundaries. Shouldn't you just stand up and be like, okay, I've set these boundaries. You've overstepped my boundaries so many times. I've had enough. You know, it's like saying, okay, I don't want anybody to take advantage of me, right? And then you come back with the same person, or you go back to the same person, and you know their intention is to take advantage of you, and you allow them to take advantage of you. They are your boundaries. Boundaries are Your boundaries are set to protect you. So if you cannot stand on your boundaries, that means the self value and your self preservation is it's kind of on the low side. All right, let's go. All in these comments. So what if I take you away? Hold on. So what if I take you away, pour my heart out to you, and come back home and get engaged to the same person I belittled? Lies or deception? We the people wants to know. What? You pump faking, man. That's called pump faking. What you mean? After I pour, I mean you had a moment, I pour my heart out to you, especially if you say, oh, I'm the only person you want in the world, and you made it seem, oh boy. Mm. Pump faking, that's what I call it. That's deception, man. That's deception. That's this. It could be lies too. I mean, you might love me for real, or you might feel for me, but if you love me so much, or you love me so wholeheartedly, then how come you with the other person? I right here waiting here, and I gotta be watching you eat your cake and ice cream while I on the sideline? No, sir. No. Make sure it says people pleasing. Hmm. People pleasers have difficulty standing on boundaries. Facts. What's popping, Nick? Each says exactly. Learn how to stand on your boundaries first before setting boundaries for people. Yes, because they are your boundaries. If I have my boundaries in place, and I'm telling you, these are my boundaries and these are my things, and if you break those boundaries, no, there are gonna be repercussions. It's not gonna be a tweely, a tweety papa, and then now we coming back together and happily ever after. No, because at the end of the day, you broke my boundaries. Come on, man. Let me get to this WhatsApp. Lord, what is this? I see one long. Anyway, I'll save that for later. This one says, I used to ignore the signs, but now from I see the head of the snake, it's getting cut off. Facts. Experience is the best teacher. Once you see the signs, and once you see, okay, well, okay, this is what happens and this is what they did, and they present themselves, no, man, you got to cut it off. This one says, why do we fall for the same stories? I'm curious though, because sometimes I feel like an AWS. I would come out of a situation, then end up in another similar situation. It's like I'm a magnet. Listen, I'm not trying to be insulting because everybody got a story, but the problem is you. You know, the problem is you. You said, why do we fall for the same stories? And then you say, I'm curious though, because sometimes I feel like an AWS. I would come out of a situation, then end up in another similar situation. It's like I'm a magnet. All I could say, right? I take that back. I take back saying the problem is you, because sometimes you could come out of the situation and then go into another situation, and it's like they from heaven. And when you start settling down and getting serious, that's when The true colors is come out. But sometimes you have to know, and identify the signs. Sometimes you could see a little simple sign right there. The way they move, the way they flex. People can only pretend for so long. The way they do things, you have to be observant. You have to pay close attention to details. You have to watch people how they flex. You have to watch people how they talk. You have to watch their movement. Watch the way they do things around you. Watch how they respond to certain questions. Watch how they respond to certain things. Watch how they respond to certain scenarios. Like me, I'm a tester. Everybody know I put you to obstacles, and when you fail, then that's just what it is. You know, I'm not setting anybody up to fail. I'm just saying I'm not gonna be here, you know, falling for no trickery. And then at the end of the day, I'm the one who's there left crying and snotty. No, sir. It ain't. It's not gonna be me. This one says manipulation is a serious thing. You know, we sometimes don't even know we are being manipulated until we catch sense. Boy, this is powerful. Sometimes the sense happens when they already lie everything off the cross. Boy, that deep. That right there deep. Says manipulation is a serious thing. You know, we sometimes don't even know we are being manipulated until we catch sense. What a flip. Sometimes the sense happens when they already lie everything off the cross. This one says, this podcast hitting home tonight. I can't lie. Tears in my eyes because what I've been through. Oh my, sorry. I'm sorry you've been through whatever you've been through. But all I could say, I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a doctor, but learn from the experiences. Don't just sit around crying and you allowing the same thing. Learn from it. Learn from it. Set your boundaries straight off the bat. Listen, if you do this, that's it. You know? Now, this is a long one. This is a long one. So this one says, this topic is hitting me deep. I remember I was talking to this guy and I was telling him I'm not into a serious relationship. Boy, oh Lord, look where you're going. I gotta sit up for this one and read this one. This topic is hitting me deep. I remember I was talking to this guy and I was telling him I'm not into a serious relationship, but we could talk because I'm dating. Boy, behemoths don't know about dating. But anyway, he was like, okay, him too, or whatever. So now months passed, he stayed consistent. Boy, it sounds like this going somewhere. So I was talking to one other person. So I told him I'll let the other person know I'm seeing someone exclusively. Oh, flip. So now we started being exclusive. I asked him if he was seeing anyone and he said no. Mother flip, the story getting, I know where it's going. This just sounds so familiar. So long story short, months later, he was by me and his phone kept going off one night. So I went on the phone and lo and behold, it's a whole other woman. He had messages dated back to when we first started talking. Mother flip. I can relate. My thing is, why lie? I was honest and it hurts me because I fall for him. These the kind of things that cause you wanna somebody up. Mother flip. I gotta read this again. This topic is hitting me deep. I remember I was boy, listen, yeah. This right here, anyway. This topic is hitting me deep. I remember I was talking to this guy and I was telling him I'm not into a serious relationship. I'm not into a serious relationship, but we could talk because I'm dating. He was like, okay, him too, or whatever. So now months passed. He stayed consistent. Boy, homie, boy, he pretend long. He stayed, where am I? Jeez. So now months passed. He stayed consistent. So I was talking to one other person. So I told him I'll let the other person know I'm seeing someone exclusively. Out of flip, she dropped the next on me for him. I asked him if he was seeing anyone, and he said no. So, long story short, months later, he was by me and his phone kept going off one night. So, I went on the phone, and lo and behold, it's a whole other woman. He had messages dated back to when we first started talking. My thing is, why lie? I was so honest, and it hurts me because I fall for him. These the kind of things that cause you want to someone up. Oh Lord, boy, you, you just take the words of my mouth. Girl, who are you, man? Come on this Facebook so I can know who you are, man. We need to be friends. Who are you? Must be reincarnation, eh? I could relate. What the flip? I must have got to read this one more time, eh? I mean, I mean, the thing is, she was dating and told she asked him if he was seeing somebody else, right? She was dating nothing serious. She told him she wasn't into nothing serious, and he was like him too or whatever, right? And when she decided to get serious and make it exclusive, she asked him if you seeing somebody, and he said no. Why lie? She was honest with you from the break. She was honest with you from the break. Why lie? You lied from the beginning to the end, bruh. If you find a woman who honest with you, say, look, I'm not into nothing serious. I'm just dating right now, right? Seeing how the play field work. And she told you she was talking to somebody else and she dropping that person to be with you exclusively. You still didn't come out and say, hey, I had somebody and I was in a relationship for this amount of time. But you lied? Mother flip. I don't understand humans, buddy. I don't understand. Gotta sip my apple juice because I ain't got no vitamin. I mean, and say so. Long story short, later he was by me and his phone kept ringing one night, and I went on the phone, and lo and behold, it's a whole other woman. He had messages dated back to when we first started talking. My thing is, why lie? I was so honest, man. Listen, yeah, I feel you. Send me one friend request on Facebook, man. I feel that one. I mean, I ain't effing nobody up now. I just get my big machete and cut you off. But I feel that one. That one touched my soul just now. That right there. You touched my soul. Bro, you are an honest woman, buddy. This woman was so honest with you from start to finish. She told you, bro, man, I dating one. And she told you, man, listen, yeah, I gonna be exclusive with you. Are you seeing anyone? She gave you a chance to come clean. You hid the truth, and she still finding the truth and leave you dumb. You know what? You dumb. You's a dumb dude, bro. You dumb. You just dumb. Whoever you are, you dumb, boy. Gee, I'm sorry. I don't call people name, but I took this little text personally. Behemoths don't know what is dating. That if we talking, you are mine mentality is frig up, boy. That's a deep conversation right there for another podcast. They lie because they are self-serving. Yes, facts. Because they wanted it to be good, you know, good on their end. They wanted everything going smooth while they continue to have the best of both worlds. No, you can't have the best of both worlds. That's a hey, that's I feel you. Whoever you are, I feel you. Y'all need to put names next to these things so I could know your names and stuff like that. You know, I felt that, man. I felt that for the young lady. I felt that that I can't even comment too much on it. How I feel that. I felt that one right there. I felt that. I felt that in my soul. This one says, I found myself in the same shoe. And that had me so depressed, but my situation was different. The man had a whole baby on me after telling me he wasn't into anyone else. Mother flip. Whole baby. This one says, sometimes we have a gut feeling, so why do we ignore our gut feeling? This made me think this deep. Yeah, I ignore no gut feeling, buddy. For my feely. When you see me feely, hmm. All right. Feely boy. Oh, let's see, man. Look at that. Oh, let's see, man. Sit back. Mm-mm. Hold on, before I get this, he feel. Hold on. Mm-mm. Mm. It's a conversation happening within a conversation. All right, let me get back to these things, man. All right. Sometimes we have a gut feeling. So why do we ignore? Oh, I read that. Next chat. Honestly, I wasted years on someone who lied to me constantly. That relationship and cycle of my life had me so sick and losing weight. Buddy, I ain't losing no weight for nobody. I saw you lose weight, but I hope you get your weight back. Put your weight back up. Eat your KFC. No, don't eat KFC. They send you to the bathroom. Sorry. Oh, Lord. But, Lord, what is this? I hope I don't get sued. This one say, I just got out of a toxic relationship because of the same thing. A bunch of lies. He's still calling me from his 10,000 numbers. Wait, listen, you're not the first. How do people do that though? How do they get so much numbers after you block all the numbers? You mean to tell me they'll go to BPL? I mean not B what you call it? BTC and alive and just keep buying Sims? How do they get all these numbers, man? Listen, from you block my one number, ain't nothing happening, man. Ain't nothing happening. This one said, I keep falling for the same thing over and over. It's like I'm stuck in a loop. Get out that loop, girl. Get out that loop. That's all I can tell you. Get out that loop. Jump till you can't. Jump till you can't jump no more. Just keep jumping until you get out the loop. Don't stay in that loop. When you stay in there, you get lost. You get lost. I'm trying to get to all of the rest of these comments. I can only speak for myself. I would rather someone lie to me than me finding out something that would make me trip out. Well, what the flip is this? You wait too late in the show to say some comment like that. You what? Listen, the topic is don't be fooled. Falling for the cycle of deception and lies. Don't be fooled. What you mean? Anyway, you did say you can only speak for yourself, so I gotta respect you. I can only speak for myself. I would rather someone lie to me than me finding out something that would make me trip out. No, sir. Mm-mm. Don't lie to me. Tell me about that baby. What you had with that next man. Tell me about your next boyfriend who you had down the road. Tell me about that man who you going to catch a flight with. Man, or tell me about the person who is your assistant, who you claim is your assistant. Tell me about them. What's poppin', Miss J? This one says, I can relate so much to these comments and the feeling of betrayal. I just left a manipulative relationship and it's the best decision I ever made. I believe that. This one says, I lost a lot of trust in people after being deceived. And honestly, I feel like trusting people would never be the same. I with you. It never be the same. I could relate to that too. Listen, I ready to tell my story, I got stories one day, probably on my blog page. This one says, this has been a journey for me, learning to set boundaries because I could write a whole book. Let's start writing. All I could say is when you see the signs, run. I've been saying that all night. From you see them signs, why you still hanging around? You see the signs. Why you still there? Can't be a fool on this road. It's hard to admit I've been deceived multiple times. Sometimes you look back and just feel stupid. Boy, and it's the decisions you make what is make you feel stupid. Them decisions. When you make these decisions because of these individuals, and then you just feel dumb. You're like, mother flip, dumb. This one says, it hurts when people you love, but yeah, I don't even understand it. I think she's trying to say it hurts when it's people you love. So it hurts the most because they're supposed to be the ones that claim they love you. Mother flip. No comments. It hurts when it's the people you love. So it hurts the most because they're supposed to be the ones that claim. I like how you put that claim there. Because if you love somebody, how you could hurt somebody and you claim you love them? What kind of love that is? A sobier. So anyway, we going back to the message. The person says, "Boy, Jason, I'll tell you my story, but these people ain't these." Say, "Boy, Jason, I'll tell you my story, but these people ain't loyal. They are selfish. I'm so cold now. Oh Lord, that's my new. Use my new friend, man. Use my new friend. My new friend. I calling you. I don't know your name, but you my new friend. I'll tell you my story, but these people ain't loyal. They are selfish. I'm so cold now. Listen, I got that ice box where we have a cool party." Tracy said, "I experienced a lot of betrayal and deception from family members till it pulled me down to the gutter. I have to start over from scratch, and that's the key. Starting over. Starting over is always a difficult transition, but you got to make that step. If you continue down the same path and don't see no changes, it's different, because you have sometimes where people make attempts to try and do things and to be different and to try and make improvements, and you could see the little changes that they make. You know, it's just the situations and the people who continuously, that's the issue right there. The continuous betrayal is what it is. When it's continuous and you give people the benefit of doubt, you give them, you tell them, you just real, keeping it a buck, you keeping it real, you just lay your cards out on the table and you just keeping it a buck. Like, you can't get no better. Like homegirl say, like, she told him, "Hey, listen, yeah, I'm not into this and that, man, friend, my new friend." You keeping it real with people, and then they turn around, and do these things. When you keeping it real, you do that to people who fake. Mother sick, y'all had me talking long. Jeez. So yeah, this was legit. you know I didn't do any announcements. I just showed up, come back in power, like pow, in your face type thing. you know oh, this is another message. Say, "Thanks for having me on your podcast. I've never seen a pod. Thanks for having me on your podcast. I've never seen a podcast quite like this where the audience get to chime in. I will definitely be back. Your new friend." Ah, Lord, I got a new friend, buddy. Anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all. Oh yeah, so I got some giveaways, right? But I don't know how. I got a couple of fire stick. I think I have one right here. See these brand new. Brand new. I have a couple to give away. A couple fire stick. Just for y'all continuing to support me, being there, holding it down. So I'll announce later on. Probably do a flyer or competition. I don't know how I'm giving them away yet. And, just to show y'all that I appreciate y'all for, rocking with me, sharing my live, coming on the page, leaving a comment, leaving a like, sharing it, or just even hopping in my chat and saying, oh, hey, Jason, when the podcast coming back and so forth. So I just would like to show that I appreciate y'all for y'all giving me, y'all time and sitting there for an hour or over an hour and just, talking. No problem, milkshake. And just, we interacting. Like I said, this is a different podcast. I came up with the idea instead of me just doing it, like just me talking. It would be better to just have an interactive podcast with sometimes people on the feed and so forth, etc. We still growing, but the growth is intentionally slow because I actually wanted to build a podcast like with authentic viewers instead of like buying viewers. It's ways you can buy views, but I want to be an authentic, original audience. But I thank you all for tuning in. So stay tuned for the giveaways. Stay tuned for everything, And like I said, this was good. Shout out to everybody who chimed in, all the commenters, all the new persons, the new friend, everybody. Some of y'all I see was commenting for the first time. I appreciate y'all. So y'all know we will continue to talk about it. But boy, this was a little hot. This was a little hot. But anyway, I'm out here.
That's a wrap on another episode of the Gray Area Podcast. Thanks for exploring the unexpected with us. Remember, it's in the gray areas where the most profound insights can be found. Keep questioning, stay curious, and join us again next time. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Arx besneuwel af, ja, letter